A person in critical condition in the cold hospital room. The doctor and nurse tremble helplessly. The priest silently prays hopelessly. The person's soul leaves the body, wavering between life and death, facing a terrible truth beyond all understanding. Death is not the end, but the beginning of a terrifying spiritual journey. The soul drifts in a dark space, where there is no time, no gravity, only the feeling of being drawn into another dimension. All sounds of the material world are silent, only the echoes of fear and confusion remain. Suddenly a whirlwind of light swirls, engulfs the soul, and throws it into an indefinite space. There, memories rise like a flood, every action, every word, every thought, all appear unconcealable. The soul faces itself, naked and unable to escape. The truth is exposed like a cold iron blade, cutting deep into the consciousness. No one judges, but the pain from within rises, like a burning. In that dazzling light, an entity gradually appears. Jesus is not a religious symbol, but a pulsating reality, a lyrical page of love and infinite understanding. He sees through the soul without judgment, only full of compassion. All the shit and faith that the soul clings to suddenly becomes small and meaningless. Before him, the truth is revealed without explanation, like breath, like the light I am here with. The soul witnesses the life of Jesus, unconditional love, sacrifice on the cross, and forgiveness in the midst of extreme pain. The soul is deeply moved, all the strongholds of reason collapse. He gives the soul the mission to share this truth with everyone, not to keep it as a private property. Despite the fear, the soul is no longer alone. Jesus affirms, "You are not alone," an eternal promise. The light blooms, the soul experiences heaven, where there is no more fighting, only unity in pure love. Not a reward, but the essence of existence, boundless, faceless. Finally, the light fades, the powder of absolute darkness falls, suffocating the space, robbing all sounds, colors. In it, the sound of someone scratching and screaming rises, the lament of souls imprisoned forever in despair. Just when the darkness seems to be eternally absorbing consciousness, a fragile ray of light suddenly appears, not dazzling, not noisy, but warm like the first breath of life. The soul does not understand where it comes from, only feels it penetrate every fiber of pain, melting the chains of despair. A vague call rings out, not a word, but like the flow of familiar love, supporting, pulling the soul out of the abyss. Breathing returns, eyes open, blurred, mixed with light and tears. The ceiling of the hospital room appeared, familiar yet strange. The rhythmic sound of the machines, the hurried whispers of the nurses, the broken sighs of the doctors. Relatives cried out in joy and disbelief. The soul, no, the person had returned. They woke up in the old body, but with a new heart, a soul that bore an eternal mark. The memories were still intact, not faded, not vague, but clearer than any earthly experience. They remembered every ray of light from heaven, remembered the loving gaze of Jesus, remembered every gentle melody of essential love. But they could not forget the darkness of despair, the guttural screams of imprisoned souls, the pain that penetrated their very being. Both heaven and hell seemed to tug at their hearts irrevocably. They knew they could not return to the same. The eyes had seen the undeniable truth. The heart could not continue living as if it had never been through it. And the promise to Jesus echoes that I am not alone in the mission that has been entrusted, not keeping that truth for myself, but sharing, living, and lighting it in every small action every day. They look around. The hospital room becomes a sacred poem as a beginning, not of simple life, but of a new journey, awake, complete with the vivid memories of the two brothers. No more fear, only gratitude and the desire to live every moment, as if every breath is a gift, every look is a miracle. And so, in the midst of everyday life, they become living witnesses to eternal love and timeless truth, bringing light from the invisible world to illuminate the world. A soul has passed through death and returned to love more deeply than ever. However, that change is not always easily accepted. Some relatives initially doubted that the person had experienced psychological trauma. Some people came home and avoided him. But through every small action, a timely hug, a sincere word of comfort, or just sympathetic silence, they gradually feel real transformation. In specific situations, that inner change is clearly shown. Once, when witnessing a stranger angry and insulting him in public, he only gently responded with calmness, making the other person feel down and shaken. Another time, when his son confessed to making a serious mistake, or instead of scolding him, they hugged him and said, "I understand, let's fix it together." Love and forgiveness are sown through the smallest things but have a great impact. Every night, he silently prays for lost souls, re-encircles the absolute darkness he has experienced, and constantly sows hope in the most desperate people. He becomes a person that everyone meets feels relieved, because in him there is no longer an I, only the presence of a greater love, beyond human understanding. They live in the world, but no longer belong to the world, like a small flame, silently shining in the dark, never extinguished. If you find it interesting, please give me a like, share, and subscribe.
The video ends here. Thank you for listening. If you find it interesting, please give me a like, share, and click the subscribe button to help me.